This afternoon we are hosted by Professor Hanna Pappius, a professor in the Department of Neurology, Neurosurgery, an associate member of the Department of Biochemistry at McGill University, a dedicated and pioneering neurochemist at the Montreal Neurological Institute for more than 50 years. Recently, she received the highest distinction, the highest Canadian distinction, the Order of Canada, for all her achievements in so many domains. Thank you very much, Professor Pappius, for your hospitality. This thing, this is, you told us that this is one of the things that you're most proud of. Is it true?
Oh, yes.
Why do you think they decided to award you this?
I'm not quite sure.
How come?
You know, when you see how few people really have it, well, somebody thought well of me. I am I'm proud of it. I came to the conclusion that I should be.
Right. But it's not only your research or academic achievements. You have been active in so many other areas.
Well, yes, I guess so.
And they include your commitment to the animals' well-being.
That's one of the things that was moved, yes.
And also your involvement with the Polish-Canadian community.
Well, that's what they say.
Where were you born? You were not born in Canada.
I was born in Kujawy, in Łąkocin.
Where is that?
It was near Wrocław. Was a family of my mother's
manor.
My mother was born there, and I was born there.
But that's Poland.
Very much.
Very much so. And tell us about your father. He was quite a remarkable person, wasn't he?
Well, I adored him. But my father, to me, was a great Pole. He really worked all his life, and he just inspired me to understand that it is very important, or it was very important in Poland, just freed, and how many people had to work towards it, and he was one of them.
Your father was a man of many, many qualities. He was a military person. He was an aviator. He was a bit like a diplomat, military diplomat.
Well, he was a very
because he was the Polish defense attaché.
Yes.
In London.
Yes.
Earlier in Prague.
Yes.
In the late 30s, and when he came to Canada after World War II, he worked for many years for international civil.
Well, not so very many years, because I think it was 10 years, because at that stage he reached a position where he had to go because he had
he had to retire.
Yes, he had to retire.
Okay. So when and how did you arrive in Canada?
Well, very simply, right after the fall of France, there was a small Polish ship that was prepared to take something like 18 children to Canada. And my father was very worried about me and my mother.
About his little daughter and his lovely wife.
but he was really worried about the Germans. I've never understood it until much later, where he admitted that at that time there was a bit talk about Germans inviting. He was very much involved in many things which were German, and he felt that he didn't want the Germans to
conquer the
touch us.
United Kingdom, and he did his best to send his wife and his daughter.
And it came, and there was several women like that for us. So I came to Canada even before the war really started in England. I mean, this is where I feel that I have been so fortunate.
Because it was like May or June 1940.
July.
July. So it was just at the beginning.
It was just after the fall of
France.
And then when we came here, I went to school, and then I went to university, and I planned to go to Poland. I never planned to stay in Canada. And my father wrote me a long letter that I have to appreciate that when we go back to Poland, we will have to build things. So I am to go to, so I should choose something that will be useful.
Oh, as a topic of your studies. Do something useful, study.
So that when we go to Poland, and then of course it became clear that my father can't go back to Poland. And I had a beautiful letter from him, because I still thought that I will go to Poland. And he wrote a lovely letter telling me that if that's what I want, he won't object, but then we'll never see each other again. And that made me think that, and you know, when things developed, we all saw what was happening. So then I stayed. I laughed that I was never worrying about it. I came and I stayed, you know.
But I can only imagine how traumatic this experience was for your father, a Polish patriot, of not being able to go back.
His letter is amazing, because he lists all the things that he felt he did for his country, and the result was that he just couldn't go back. So then I changed my mind, and that's, I mean, and I stayed.
And you have had a wonderful career here in Canada. You spent so many years researching.
Yes, and I had every opportunity, and I just felt that everywhere I went, I was fortunate. I got the job. I had the Neurological Institute is something quite amazing. People from all over the world, and
it's like one of the leading institutions globally.
Yes.
One of the global leaders in the neuroscience.
And everybody just opened I feel that everybody just opened my ways.
But how do you identify yourself? Your father was a Polish patriot.
Yeah.
And you?
I am a Canadian patriot. No, look, I have my family here. I learned here. Everything I am is really Canadian.
But of course, you speak beautifully Polish. You know Polish literature. You followed the...
Yeah, well, that's fine. Some people do it. I know people, Italian, who do all that for Italy.
Of course. I mean, what I'm saying was not meant to be like a criticism. I'm just trying to understand who you are and what made you.
Well, what made me was a family that were really Polish and who thought that that's where I should be. Mm-hmm. Except that even when I was thinking of going back to Poland, which I did very long time, mm-hmm. and then I realized that it was ridiculous.
Right. But you were involved. You joined the Polish Institute of...
Well, yes, of course.
Tell us about it. About your involvement with people.
I was invited. I was when when the institute was started. I was a student. I knew that I was friends with the Stachewicz sons. Yeah, and when the war ended and the young Polish men came back, we had a very nice group. We used to go skiing, we used to do this, we used to do that.
So part of your social life was...
Oh, absolutely.
Polish.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
But my work life, my thinking life and this thing, was not.
Of course, that's the beauty of Canada, that allows each person to be who they want,
yeah.
As long as they are loyal Canadians.
And then I married a Pole.
Uh-huh.
So
tell us about him.
Well,
the person who conquered your heart.
Well, he was born in south of Lwów, then lived in Kraków. He considered himself as a Krakowian. Mm-hmm. And then his aunt married an Italian who got him out from Poland to Italy when the war broke out. He went to Italy, and he went to France to join the Polish army, and then he went to England and joined the Polish Navy, and he spent the whole war in the Polish
Navy.
And then he came to Canada. He got a job as an engineer, and that's it. And we met skiing in the Laurentians.
Uh-huh. And you have 2 daughters.
3.
3 daughters.
My oldest daughter is my late daughter. She died some time ago, but I had 3. I now have 2.
3 daughters. Uh-huh. And you are a proud grandmother.
Oh, and great-grandmother.
And great-grandmother. Congratulations. Congratulations. Once again, thank you very much for your hospitality.
Have you finished the English?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Dobrze.
Dobrze.